Let's be honest, we've all heard it before. Don't eat too little, or your body will go into starvation mode. It's one of the most common claims in the fitness world, but what does that even mean? Does your body really stop burning fat just because you're eating less? Or is this one of those myths that's been repeated so often, people stopped questioning it? Today, we're going to break this down, scientifically, realistically, and simply. Because understanding what really happens when you eat less is the key to losing fat, keeping it off, and never falling for diet myths again. What people think starvation mode is. When most people hear starvation mode, they imagine this. You start eating less, maybe you're dieting hard, skipping meals, cutting calories, and then your body, out of fear, suddenly decides to hold on to fat instead of burning it. Almost like it's panicking and saying, "Oh no, we're starving, better slow down metabolism and store everything as fat." Sounds logical, right? Except, that's not actually how human physiology works. Your body is way too intelligent for that kind of panic reaction. Yes, your metabolism can slow down when you eat less, but that's not starvation mode. That's something called metabolic adaptation, and it's totally normal. Let's unpack what that means. Metabolic adaptation. The real story: when you start eating fewer calories than you burn, you create what's called a calorie deficit. This deficit is the only way fat loss happens. It forces your body to use stored energy, your fat, to make up the difference. And that's how you lose weight. But as you lose weight, your body adjusts. Because now you're lighter, you need less energy to move around. Your heart doesn't have to pump as hard. You burn fewer calories doing the same activities. That's part 1 of the adaptation. Part 2 is hormonal. Your body reduces certain hormones like leptin, which controls hunger, and thyroid hormones, which control metabolism. This combination makes you feel hungrier, more tired, and slightly slows down how fast you burn calories. So yes, your metabolism does slow, but not enough to stop fat loss. It's your body's way of maintaining balance. It's protection, not sabotage. What starvation mode is not the idea that eating too little makes you gain fat or stop losing weight completely is false. If you're truly eating less than you burn, consistently, you will lose fat. The confusion comes from people misreading short-term signals. For example, when you suddenly drop calories, your body holds on to water. You might see the scale go up or stay the same, and assume you've stopped losing, but that's just water retention, not fat gain. Or maybe you've been dieting for weeks and you're stuck. You think your metabolism shut down, but in reality, you're just eating a little more than you think. Tiny snacks, bites, dressings, and portion errors add up quickly. That's not starvation mode, that's human error. Your metabolism didn't betray you, your habits just got inconsistent. The Minnesota Starvation Experiment. Let's look at one of the most famous studies on this. The Minnesota Starvation Experiment, 1944. Researchers put healthy men on a severely restricted diet for 6 months, about 1,500 calories a day, roughly half of what they needed to maintain their weight. Did their fat loss stop? No, they lost weight steadily the entire time. They became weaker, slower, more tired, yes, but fat loss continued. There was no magical starvation mode, where their bodies started holding on to fat. The study proved that your body adapts to less food by conserving energy, but it never stops burning fat unless you're literally in long-term starvation, which is dangerous and far beyond any normal diet. Why some people plateau? So, if starvation mode isn't real, why do people hit plateaus? Here's the truth. It's almost never because your metabolism shut down. It's because your body changed, and your behavior did too. As you lose weight, you subconsciously move less. You fidget less. You burn fewer calories doing daily tasks. And sometimes, after weeks of restriction, you start eating slightly more than you think, a spoonful here, a snack there. Combine all of that, and your deficit disappears. No magic. No broken metabolism. Just balance restored. The fix? You either need to move a little more, eat a little less, or take a short maintenance break to let your body reset hormonally before pushing again. The psychological side of eating less. Now let's talk about the mental side, because this is where most people fail. Eating less is hard. Not because your body can't handle it, but because your mind rebels against it. When you cut calories too drastically, hunger spikes, mood drops, focus fades. You start thinking about food constantly. And eventually, willpower cracks. Then comes the binge, and the moment you overeat, you regain all the water and glycogen you lost earlier, and the scale jumps up. It's not fat gain, it's fluid balance, but emotionally, it feels like failure. That's when people say, "See? My body's in starvation mode," when in truth, it was just a psychological response to over-restriction. Sustainable fat loss happens when your brain and body work together, not when you fight against hunger like it's an enemy. How to diet without slowing your metabolism. So how do you eat less without killing your energy, hormones, or sanity? It comes down to strategy. Don't drop calories too low, too fast. A small deficit, around 20% below maintenance, is enough. It keeps metabolism stable and hunger manageable. Eat enough protein. Protein preserves muscle, boosts metabolism slightly, and keeps you full longer. Lift weights. Strength training tells your body to hold onto muscle while losing fat. The more muscle you keep, the higher your metabolism stays. Take diet breaks. Every 6 to 8 weeks, spend a week eating at maintenance. It restores leptin, stabilizes mood, and helps you push further after. Sleep. Lack of sleep increases hunger hormones and makes dieting feel impossible. You're not weak, you're just tired. Manage stress. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which can lead to water retention and emotional eating. None of this is fancy. But it works, consistently, safely, and naturally. The myth that keeps people stuck. The real danger of the starvation mode myth isn't the science, it's the psychology. It gives people an excuse to stop trying. They'll say, "I'm not losing weight because I'm eating too little," but deep down, it's a comforting story, one that removes accountability. Because if your body is broken, then it's not your fault, right? The truth is, your body isn't broken. It's adaptable, efficient, and incredibly smart. If you fuel it correctly and stay patient, it will respond. You don't need extreme diets. You need consistency and trust in the process. What to do if you think your metabolism is slow. If you genuinely feel stuck despite eating clean and training hard, here's a checklist before blaming starvation mode. Track your food accurately. Use a scale, not guesses. Check your sleep. 5 hours a night can wreck progress. Review your stress levels. High cortisol hides results. Reassess your calorie target. Maybe you're eating more than you think. Add resistance training. Muscle is metabolic gold. If all that checks out, take a short maintenance phase, 2 to 3 weeks eating normally, then return to a small deficit. Your metabolism will respond again, because it never stopped. Final truth. Your body isn't the enemy. Here's the truth most people need to hear. Your body doesn't hate you. It's not trying to hold you back. It's trying to keep you alive. Starvation mode is a misunderstanding of survival biology. Your metabolism doesn't stop you from losing fat, it just adjusts to protect balance. You can work with it, not against it. The smartest approach isn't to eat less and less, it's to eat smart, move often, sleep deeply, and be patient. Because fat loss isn't a punishment, it's a partnership with your biology. Once you understand that, you stop fearing food, stop blaming your body, and start creating results that actually last.